Brock, just a great game from top to bottom by both the offense, the defense, and and the special teams. Just talk about playing kind of the first real complete game for 4 quarters.
Yeah, that was just the definition of complementary football. Defense was able to turn the ball over, get sacks, and that really set us up with great field position. That's one of the biggest things when coming into the game. Your starting field position. That really helped us out, making it easy on the offense, not having to drive the whole field. Special teams, we had that one mishap, but besides that, they were really strong, and that just showed what type of team we could be when we play 4 quarters of complementary football.
Obviously there's a lot of talk and justifiably so of Ball State's defensive end Voorhis and 8 sacks coming in leading the nation and didn't really get in the backfield once. What was the kind of plan for the offensive line to kind of contain him?
He puts his pants on just like we do. It's nothing we really did special. We game planned him a little bit, but our O-line, they just did their job. I'm really proud of those guys, and yeah, I'm just proud of them.
It's career passing and rushing day for you. A lot of those little short passes that turned into kind of medium to big gains. When you're able to just kind of dump it off and see something like that, how easy does it make things feel?
Yeah, it's all credit to the receivers. The guys blocking downfield on screen plays. It's a lot of confidence in those guys. Throw short, we can run long. And that's just testament to that whole room, just being able to shed tackles and even block a downfield for each other.
Broc, last couple weeks, it seems like you guys have really been able to get deeper into the playbook, open things up more, just try different things. And, again, the results today were outstanding. Just as you've sort of gotten more comfortable as this team's starting quarterback, just how you felt, how this offense has really felt of being able to just try new things and have them really work for you guys.
Yeah, Coach Bell and our whole offensive staff made a great game plan for this game. You've seen it, all the play action stuff and all the nakeds. And when you run that every week, it's really hard to find a new setup because other teams know it's coming, and that's the hardest thing when they know it's going to happen, but they still can't stop it. That's just credit to Coach Bell and the whole offensive staff.
And then what you guys were able to do with spreading the ball around, obviously, getting some backups in, but still, I think at halftime you had connected with like 9 or 10 wide receivers. Just this team's ability to not only utilize the depth and the skill and the talent that you have, but just to be able to use that many guys, find that many guys, just what that really means for you guys as a unit as a whole.
Yeah, it's a great feeling when you have that many guys. Being able to make plays and do their job at a high level. There's no drop off whether it's the starting receiver in or the backup. I'm not going to look anywhere else. My read is my read in the play. I'm not throwing it to any specific person. And that kind of shows that by how many times we get the ball to different numbers of people. So it's just a great job by all those receivers and tight ends.
You had a big play connecting with Avion Chenault earlier in the game. It's become a new norm for Western a little bit the last few weeks to have some bigger plays in the passing game. Can you speak a little bit to how your connection with the wide receiver room has grown over the last few weeks?
Yeah, just like I said with Coach Bell and the whole offensive staff, they're scheming up the defenses, and it's like stuff I've never really seen before. Coach Bell and those guys do a great job. Avion, he's a special player. Being a true freshman and be able to execute like that. He's never too high, never too low. He's the same guy every day, and I really appreciate him and Coach Bell for all they do.
And then you were over 100 yards rushing today, first quarterback since 1973 for Western to do that. How big of a deal is that for you to kind of hit that mark personally?
It doesn't really matter to me. We're just playing the game. If that happens, it happens. I'm more happy for the O-line being able to do their job and, making it easy on me. That one rushing touchdown I had today, I didn't even get touched, so that's all the O-line. A middle schooler could have ran up there and ran that in, but yeah, I'm appreciative of it. It's a big goal, but for the goals we have in our season, it's just a really minor.
Thanks, Broc.
It matters to me, Broc, all right? It matters to me. Thank you. Sefa, it's one thing to shut a team out, but it's another to hold them to just 88 yards of total offense. What was the game plan going into it, and how did you guys just execute it so well?
So we knew that Ball State was a good team coming into this game, and we just wanted to they're really good in the run game, and so we just wanted to shut them down in that sense. We knew as long as we could get them into third and longs and situation with the need of the pass it, then we would come out on the other side doing good.
Kelly was really instrumental in that comeback win over Ohio last week, especially with his legs. How were you guys able to kind of contain him and keep him stuck back there in the pocket?
I think we just watching that last week and watching film, we knew what kind of player he was and the things that he could do with the ball in his hands. So we definitely practiced that and keeping him in the pocket, keeping the quarterback in the pocket, and knowing when to plaster and knowing when to get the quarterback down when he runs. So that's what we focused on this week.
As a defense, first conference game, you guys allowed 13 points. Last time out, 3 points against UMass. Shutout today. Just the way this unit is working right now and just rolling right along, just what it means for you guys to feel like you're really firing on all cylinders on that defensive side.
I'm just really proud of the guys, man. It's really been like a real family, real brotherhood, and so that's something that really we harp on for one another in the locker room. We're just trying to be the best we can be together. It doesn't matter who our opponent is, whatever the week. We got nameless, faceless opponents. We're just trying to be the best we can be every single day.
You talk about nameless, faceless opponents, but you guys as a unit, it seems as though every time out, it's someone different stepping up on that defensive side. You had a great game today. I mean, Nadeem, another good game, but it seems as though someone different every time out. How exciting is that for you guys to know that it doesn't matter who the matchup is or who the opponent is? It seems like any one of you can really have a standout showdown.
Yeah, so we just very hard, but just standard don't change. It don't matter who's in there. I can be in there. I could be on the bench, and someone else is in there for me. I expect the next guy to just do the same things that I'm doing, or even better. So it don't matter. Third, first, second string is in, man. We have a standard as a defense, as a team, and we hold that.
This defense today had a couple of short fields last week against UMass. No touchdowns given up. What do you think gives you guys such an ability to, no matter where the ball's at on the field, you're able to get a stop. You don't let a short field affect you or a quick change affect you. What do you think leads to that on the defense?
Man, we want to be on the field, So any chance we get to be on the field and just affect the game, we want the game in our hands. We want the ball That's how we are as a defense. We want to go out there and attack it. So it don't matter if we're on there because of a fumble, of a pick, or it's because we just scored. It don't matter to us. We're on that field. We're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Speaking of that, you guys force a lot of turnovers and are able to get off the field a little bit. What do you think gives you guys such a knack for being able to force those kind of game-changing plays? Whether it's a fumble or an interception.
So we have this guy called the Czar. Coach Kirk. He's our turnover ball disruption kind of guy, and he harps at every practice. We have to have at least for every play we have a third of those plays have to be like a punch at the ball or something like that. So we harp that very much here at Western, just trying to turnovers and getting the ball out. So when you practice that weekly, day in and day out, you're going to see results on Saturdays.
All right. Thanks, Sefa.
Thank you so much.
All right, Coach, we'll just start with an opening statement on the 42-0 win over Ball State.
Big win for us here at home for homecoming. I just want to thank our fans for coming up, showing up, showing out. They always do. We have the best fans in the MAC. But really, I'm so proud of our players. Offense, defense, and special teams. I thought this was as close to a complete 60-minute team win that we've had not only this year, but maybe in the 3 years that I've been the head coach. So really proud of how they showed up. And really, it started during the week. We had our best Tuesday practice of the year. They showed up with great intent, with great focus, really dialed in to play well, and it showed up on game day. And that has to be our formula. We want to play to our standard every single week and go 1-0 every day. And I thought they did that during this week, and they showed up to compete and play today. Really proud of our players, of our coaching staff, of our complete staff, our program. It was nice to get that win in front of our home crowd tonight.
The last couple of weeks you'd been talking about getting to that complete game, and it seemed like everything improved each week leading up till today. Is this something that you just kind of felt that was coming?
After Tuesday's practice, I was really excited about how we would play this week. But, just like I talked to our guys, we had a good week of preparation last week going into UMass. We didn't show up with the right intent on game day. So just because you have a really good week of practice, it doesn't guarantee you anything. You still have to show up and execute and do your job at a really high level, bring energy and execution. I didn't think we did that in the first half at UMass. We did in the second half. But this game, it just felt like our guys were locked in. There was a chip on their shoulder. They were disappointed in how we played the previous week, and I think motivated by that. And really, we have to bring that chip and prepare that way every single week. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter where we play, who we play, when we play them, what the weather condition, any external factors. The thing that we have to focus on is what we can control. And when we do that, what you saw tonight and how we played on both sides of the ball, playing a complete game or close to a complete game, that's who we can be. But even with tonight, as well as we played, there's still plenty of things that we can clean up. We had 2 turnovers. We had plenty of things that we can still get better and improve on, which is the exciting part. For us to play really well and still have plenty of things to improve on is exciting.
When you look at the way you guys have played, last handful of weeks, it seems as though the offense has been able to open things up a little bit more week after week. The defense has been locking down more and more week after week. To see, both of those sides moving in the right direction, and just that level of excitement that you have, the coaches have, the players have, of still growing, still building, and just how excited you are for what this could mean for the future.
There's complete buy-in right now, and I'm really proud of really our from our coaches to our staff to our players. There's a singular focus right now, and I think that's hard in college football. Everybody has really bought into our culture and our standard, what we're trying to do. And in today's day and age, with transfer portal and guys wanting the red shirt, or if they're not getting what they want, I've been so proud of our locker room. They have played for each other, and that shows up on the field. They practice for each other, they play for each other, they care about each other. That's special. I mean, that's not normal, especially in today's day and age, where, hey, if I'm not getting what I want, I'm going to leave. I'm going to transfer. I'm going to, the grass is greener on the other side. And so I just, I'm really proud of the men in that locker room, how they bought in. The buy-in, the commitment, the belief in what we're doing, that's what excites me. And they've just stayed humble and hungry to show up and want to get better, even through the losses. I mean, I keep reminding them, hey, we were 0-3 at one point, and you guys kept showing up. Now, all of a sudden you win a couple of games, everybody wants to pat you on the back. We haven't won or done anything yet. We still have a lot that we need to accomplish. We still have a lot of ways we can improve. You mentioned the offense. I think our offense has really hit a different gear here as we've gone into the last 3 weeks. I mean, Broc had 108 yards rushing tonight. It's the first quarterback to rush for over 100 yards since 1973, which is a pretty impressive stat. He continues to get better in the pass game. Love what he's doing in the pass game. But you see Malik Dudon making big catches. You see Avion Chenault making unbelievable acrobatic catches. Our O-line has protected really well and blocked really well in our run game. I mean, there's just a selflessness, a team first mentality right now. And then on our defensive side, it's the first max shutout since 2016. I thought one of the most impressive things defensively was we had 5 sacks, we had 10 TFLs, and we had 2 turnovers. So I am proud of the group, how they played, and I think that's because we're aligned and they're bought in.
Since Broc has really taken over as the starting QB for you guys, it's, especially today, only 5 incomplete passes, nearly balanced in passing yards and rushing yards. I think by halftime, completions to maybe 9 or 10 different receivers. Just what you guys have really seen in terms of growth on that side of the ball, of how he's getting more comfortable, how these guys have really assimilated to what Walt Bell wants to do with that unit, and again, just how they've really sort of bought in, and how that's really shown out these last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been tremendous to watch the growth of our offense. It really has. If you look at week 1 to now, the growth of not only Broc, not only our offensive line, but our offensive unit as a whole. But also, I think Coach Bell and our offensive staff have done an excellent job really molding and tailoring what we do to what our players do well, and not what our system is or plays or scheme, but really putting our players in position to succeed. And I think that you're seeing that at a really high level right now. Coach Bell and our staff is doing an excellent job making sure that we're doing things and putting people in the right position to their strengths. And then our players are going out and executing. At the end of the day, they have to go out and make the plays, and that's where I'm proud of what our offense has done. I thought, you mentioned it, but I mean, Broc, I think a lot of things, I think the things that impress me the most are not his stats, not what he does with his legs, not how much he runs or how many rushing touchdowns. He's tough. He's a competitor, and he's an unbelievable leader. I mean, guys play better around. He makes those around him better because of how he plays, and he's smart with the football. He makes really smart decisions, and it's hard to put a price tag or a stat on that. But when you don't put the ball in jeopardy and you're efficient and effective, it makes for a great quarterback.
You talk a lot about this defense's success. This week had a couple of short fields last week. What do you think leads to their success? Being able to just come on the field immediately, make an impact, whether it's a short field or 90 yards in front of the opposing offense.
It's a mentality and mindset. We don't want to give up a blade of grass, and Coach O'Leary, our defensive staff, they've instilled that mentality from how we started in spring ball to training camp to, even through the season. That is the mentality. I love the energy and juice on that side. Again, just like we talked about with the offense, Coach O'Leary does, and our defensive staff do an excellent job putting our guys in position to succeed, but they still have to go out and execute it. It's easy to say that when you practice it and you work it, but it's so much tougher when you get put on a short field or there's a sudden change in a game, and now, it feels like, man, we were just on the field. Now we got to go back and stop them on a short field. But they've done an incredible job. They've reset and refocused. They've really, attacked the grass and defended every blade. And I think you're starting to see that, which I'm proud of, impressed with. And I think, what they've done on the defensive side of the ball has been really impressive.
Nadeem Tucker had another fantastic game today. He's really starting to put together a special statistical season. I think he's up to 7.5 sacks now. Can you talk a little bit about his impact with the defense and what makes him such a special player?
Dame, so proud of him. Today was Dame time. He really showed up and showed out, which he has from the time he got here. I'm so proud of Nadeem and thankful that he's here as a Bronco. He really, you want to talk about a young man who came in, has been humble and hungry, and really wanted to be a great teammate, selfless, has worked really hard, and came up and hugged me after the game and thanked me. I hugged him back and thanked him. But he's just, the way he works, it shows up. I think the way that, our D-line and, Coach Payne and Coach Spence, really help mold those guys, teach them, pour into them, are committed to helping them grow and develop. You're seeing that. I think Nadeem had 3.5 sacks tonight, which gets him to 8.5 total. But it's a group effort. You see multiple guys there making plays. Rodney McGraw, Kershawn Fisher, Tyson Lee, Popeye Will. Guys stepping up and making plays. So I'm really proud of that group. But Dame had a big night tonight.
The offensive line has certainly been a group we've talked about, a lot in their development. Had one of their best games this season today. Had a lot of success up front. What have you kind of seen from them as they've gelled and grown as a group?
Well, we've really developed an edge and a chip for the O-line. I think early in the season, when you have to replace so many starters from last season and you've got so many new guys, they're really trying to understand their role and how do I fit in and where are the pieces and who's the lead. And I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've grown and improved every single week, but I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, you've seen an identity and a mentality change. They're starting to practice and prepare with a chip and with an edge, and I think that edge is showing up on game day.
And then Blake Bosma had the catch by the sideline in I believe the third quarter, came off the field, and I saw him go back to the locker room. Do you have any update on him and his status?
I don't. I love Bos to death. That was an incredible catch. Great concentration. To be able to hold on to it all the way to the ground is just, that's who Blake Bosma is, man. He's like a Hoover vac. He catches everything. And we'll get the reports on him. Hopefully he'll be back, with us going to the bye week. We'll get a lot of guys that are injured or banged up, hopefully back, and when we come back to prepare for Miami of Ohio.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go Broncos.